Okay, I think that's...
Oh!
Nice one. Obviously I'm wearing different clothes, it is definitely the same day.
So, have you heard the Davros Big Finish with Colin Baker? If so, what do you think of it? And do you think that Paul McGann has potential to be a favourite Doctor through Big Finish? Trying to be cheeky and sneak 2 questions in there.
Ask as many as you want, there wasn't a limit. So you've done yourself there. I haven't heard it yet, but it is on my list. Was it big?
Yeah, Paul McGann.
What, favourite Big Finish Doctor or just favourite Doctor in general?
They worded it as Paul McGann has potential to be a favourite Doctor through Big Finish.
He's already becoming one of my favourites, I must admit. I do really like his stuff.
Love the videos. Lockdown was so much easier discovering your channel.
Oh, thank you.
For my question, what would you say is your favourite video game of all time?
Ultimate Spider-Man for PlayStation 2. However, there are a lot of games that I like. Did they specify video games? Or did they just say favourite game?
Favourite video game.
Oh, favourite video. Oh, okay, that makes it different then. Because I was going to say Yu-Gi-Oh! Because that is my favourite.
I was going to say, what is your favourite?
That's my favourite game. Because I love Yu-Gi-Oh! But in terms of video game, yeah, it's probably Ultimate Spider-Man. But I also love stuff like Simpsons Hit and Run. That was a classic, which you never played.
I didn't have consoles when I was...
I know, but it's just one of those games where it's like, oh my god, it was so good. GTA is always a good one as well. I really like Life is Strange as well, that we played recently. I want to do more gaming videos actually. So if you want to see that, let me know. I did try with Pokemon before, and it was fun, but no one fucking watched it. So there was no point. So...
It's fun for you.
Yeah, it was fun for me. It was literally just talking out loud playing Pokemon whilst no one watches or listens.
Opinions on these stories. The Happiness Patrol, The Sunmakers, Image of the Fendal, and Father's Day.
Happiness Patrol is alright. Candyman's a fun idea. I think I actually quite like the Candyman idea. Sunmakers, I really like actually. Image of the Fendal, I think is very underrated. It's quite a dark story, quite gothic. Quite like it.
Cool.
There's cows in it.
Cool.
That makes it fun. And then the last one was Father's Day. Really good actually. I wouldn't say it's like one of the best of series 1, but it's definitely enjoyable.
Have you watched The Mandalorian?
I started watching it and I gave up about 2 episodes in, but I should probably keep up with it because I've heard a lot of good things. But we don't have Disney Plus anymore. But it was just one of those things where it started off quite slow, so I feel like I need to persevere with it. I just feel like when I started, I don't think I was really in the mood for it.
You just kind of watched it because it was there.
Just because people were talking about it, whereas now I feel like, okay, I maybe should actually sit down and watch it, but it's okay, the first 2 episodes thus far.
Apart from TV shows and movies, do you watch any other media, like anime for example? And if you do, what are your favourite anime series?
Well, I've done a video on Attack on Titan.
Yep.
Which you were in actually, if I remember rightly.
Well, I'd hope so, as I introduced you to it.
Well, that is true, yeah. So it was Attack on Titan, Yu-Gi-Oh! Obviously. Mostly the original series and GX. In terms of anime, I don't think I really watch anymore.
Pokemon kind
Yeah,
of anime?
well, I watched that when I was a kid. I also watched One Piece when I was a kid. Yeah. When they say other media, do they mean like books as well?
I guess so. They said, do you watch any other media?
I have watched books on the shelves. I've not actually picked them up yet. But I do want to read Dune, and I do want to read 1984 as well, which I bought earlier in the year. I did start reading Dune. It's very wordy, so I feel like it's going to take me... I mean, it's a massive book anyway. Well, you've seen it, but yeah, it's like the Bible of sci-fi, apparently. It's technically the Bible of sci-fi, because it's like where everything originated.
What for you would be a worse fate, watching Hellbent on repeat forever, or Man United getting relegated and never being able to come back to the Premier League?
Well, the Championship is a good league. I do like the Championship. Championship football, genuinely, this is going off on a tangent, wingy football coming soon. It probably is now, I've said it enough. But I actually think the Championship is a really good league. I like a lot of the teams in there. Hopefully you're not in it next season.
Yeah.
But I mean...
It's not that good, but yeah.
No, it is. It is a good league. I like how physical it is.
I'm just saying, in comparison to being in the Premier League.
Yeah, but I think the Championship is better than some of the top leagues in Europe.
I think it's more enjoyable in the sense that it's a lot more competitive.
Yeah, it's physical, isn't it? I think there's some players who, like, Premier League players would really struggle in the Championship. But I hate Hellbent, so I'll go with that, because the Championship I reckon would be well fun. And we haven't won it yet, but technically if we're never getting promoted, we never will.
A story, classic or new Who that has such a weird and strange concept, yet you think had a great execution.
Kinder. It is trippy as fuck, but I really like it. It's like a load of mind warping shit, and there's a snake. It's quite biblical, actually.
What's an underrated episode from each Doctor? If you haven't seen them already yet, would you watch HBO Watchmen, the Swamp Thing TV show, or Westworld?
I have been tempted to watch them. Swamp Thing especially, but what kind of put me off was the fact that it got cancelled after a season. So it's like, I don't really want to get invested into a show that I know isn't going anywhere. So that's a bit of a thing. In terms of underrated for each Doctor, I don't actually know for each Doctor. I really like War Machines, but I don't know the general consensus on it. Maybe Web Planet, actually, because I think it's fun. Troughton, Macra Terror, but I don't know if that's underrated. Pertwee. What stories does Pertwee have that I like that are underrated? Maybe Time Warrior. That's a fun one. I like Time Warrior, but then again, I think people like that. Oh no, Carnival of Monsters. I love Carnival of Monsters. That's really cool. For Tom, Android Invasion. No, The Hand of Fear. What the fuck am I on about? It's my favourite story. It's The Hand of Fear. Although the Android Invasion is very, very good. Davison, The Awakening, or Frontios. They're very good. Because they're in the same season as like Caves of Androzani, nobody cares. Colin, 2 Doctors actually, because I think not a lot of people like that one. McCoy, Battlefield. The TV movie's underrated. Did a video on that, check it out. 9th Doctor, Boomtown. Because that's alright, actually. Actually, no, the Sladen story. People don't seem to like that. Oh, wait, they're both Sladen stories. What the fuck am I on about? All the Sladen stories. Tennant, I don't know, because people tend to like a lot of Tennant stuff. Like, the general consensus is like, oh, it's well good. Maybe Partners in Crime. That was good. Where Donna comes back. Matt Smith. Cold War. That's fine. That's underrated. That's fun. Capaldi. Into the Dalek, probably, because I love that one. Jodie. Kablam. She's the only one I like.
Do you think it's time for Doctor Who to end, or would recasting the Doctor be enough to rejuvenate the show?
I don't think Doctor Who can end.
Sorry, they say reinvigorate, not rejuvenate, but rejuvenate kind of works a bit better.
Well, regenerate.
Regenerate the show.
Well, either or. But I don't think Doctor Who can end. I think it's one of those shows that it will always go on. Like, there's always an excuse or a way to bring it back.
Yeah, we had a similar question to this earlier on when you were wearing different clothes earlier on in the day.
I don't know what you mean. It can be salvaged with new people behind the scenes. I don't necessarily think that Jodie's the problem, you know. I don't think she's helping herself, but I don't necessarily think that she's the problem. I feel like if you give her some of the scripts that maybe Eccleston, Tennant, Matt Smith had, I don't necessarily think that she'd be the worst. Maybe it's just new writing staff behind the scenes, because Chibnall is fucking shit. In my opinion. He has done good stuff, I will say that. I'm not just going to rib on the guy.
Who is your favourite actor to be in Doctor Who? Whether that be a cameo, guest star, doctor, literally any doctor... Oh, sorry, literally any actor in Doctor Who.
That's a good question. Because just because they've been the Doctor, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're one of my favourite actors. I'd say John Hurt, actually, speaking of Doctors. That was a good one. John Sim as well, actually.
Have you ever watched Twin Peaks?
No. I don't think I have.
I've seen it advertised a few times. And I
Is it Sky?
Yeah, I think so. I do want to watch it.
Yeah, I might have to give it a go if it's worth it, if we're struggling for something to watch.
Do you have a favourite animated series? And if so, have you ever thought about making a review about it?
How weird is that? What have we just been watching?
Futurama.
Futurama. Yeah. I love Futurama.
Would you say that's your favourite animated series?
Possibly.
Over Yu-Gi-Oh, over...
Yeah, but anime's slightly different. And plus, I think the problem with Yu-Gi-Oh, particularly the old series, the original, I only enjoy it now because I remember watching it. I don't necessarily enjoy it now. Like, it's quite cringeworthy in places and over the top, and some of the rule-bending shenanigans is awful. Whereas Futurama, I think it's always been that show that ever since I was a kid I've loved it, and I still love it now, and I still find it funny. South Park is great as well. Yeah, it's probably one of them two, but I probably will do a video on Futurama and South Park, actually. I've been thinking of doing a Futurama versus Simpsons video.
Favourite month or time of the year?
Favourite month is probably May.
Because it's your birthday.
Because it's my birthday in May. Especially towards the end of May. Plus my nana's birthday was in May as well. So it was just like, woo, 2 birthdays. And then shortly after my birthday, it was my auntie's birthday and my granddad's birthday. So it's like, I always associate that time of year, well, their sort of June.
Celebration.
Yeah, it's always like birthdays and shit. But I do like the winter. Not this one. This one can fuck off. It's been a fucking awful winter. And we've not even had snow.
I know. Would you review Star Wars Episode 9 in a video, or is it so bad it's not worthy of your time?
I'm not going to touch it.
There you
not
go.
Not with a 10-foot barge pole.
Least favourite scene of who, out of what you've seen, if not all?
I think my least favourite actually is probably Capaldi's regeneration, because I was just not ready to let him go. Out of all the Doctors, like, the problem is with Tom, I knew he'd left already, whereas Capaldi, like, I felt like with Series 10 at the very least, his performance had sort of balanced out a little bit, and I was just like, cool, I want to see more of him. Ah, fuck, he's leaving.
I kind of took that least favourite scene of who as meaning, like, the least favourite scene as in, ugh, for God's sake.
Yeah, well, there's that as well.
Or something to do with, like, the romance with
someone.
The Doctor and
yeah, I don't like that sort of stuff. I think that's annoying. But in terms of like a scene that I was dreading, that I knew was coming, it was Capaldi's regeneration, because I just wasn't ready to let him go. I'm still not like, oh, like as bad as his era is in places, you've no idea how much I actually loved him as the Doctor.
Favourite Breaking Bad season, or a ranking if you could? Personally, I think the show consistently got better as it went along and outdid itself every season.
I agree. If I had to do a ranking, it probably would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, it is one of those shows that does get better. Although I do like 4 a lot. I think my favourite, I don't know about favourite episode. Actually, no, I do know what my favourite episode is, and is it Ozymandias, I think it's called. It's like 2 episodes before the finale.
Right.
Where it ends with Hank in the desert.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
What are your thoughts on the Alien film series?
First 2 are great, other than that I don't care. Plain and simply. Like it's like every franchise, it ran its course, it went on too long, then it started getting gradually worse. First 2 are some of the best films ever, I think. In terms of sci-fi.
What's your favourite line of dialogue in all of Doctor Who?
There's no point in being grown up if you can't be childish sometimes.
Who are your top 3 favourite Doctor Who companions, classic and new?
Sarah Jane. I'll go Joe. Do like Joe. I'm torn between 2. I want to say either Leela or Donna. I love them both, but for very, very different reasons, because they're 2 very, very different companions. I'll go with Donna. Just because I've already said 2 classic companions, but I do like Leela a lot.
Now that you've watched Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul, there was a slash in the middle of that.
Oh god.
And enjoyed them, would you be up to watching other majorly popular shows like The Walking Dead, Lost, Sons of Anarchy, Prison Break, Sopranos, etc. I would love to get your opinion on those shows after you have given them a watch, either in a video or on Twitter.
The Sopranos we want to watch, I think, don't we?
I've seen...
the funny thing is, you've seen bits of it, and I know how it ends.
I've got the box set, and we watched it up to like season 5 or something like that, and then for some reason we just trailed off from not watching it anymore.
Yeah, so we'll have to pick up with that then. In terms of The Walking Dead, I started The Walking Dead when it first came out, and I thought it was shit, not gonna lie. I thought season 2 was so boring. I was like, I'm not keeping up with this. And from what I've heard, I was probably right.
It got better when Negan came in.
Yeah, but from what I've heard of some of the more recent stuff, I think I've dodged a bit of a bullet there. In terms of like Sons of Anarchy, I've not been interested in it, to be honest. What was the other one?
Prison Break,
Lost, again, not really interested.
You take a fleeting eye to me watching Grey's Anatomy at the moment, but that's very fleeting. And
Have they mentioned Grey's Anatomy?
No, but they said etc.
Okay, right. So would people consider Grey's Anatomy one of the greatest TV shows ever?
They haven't said greatest TV shows ever. They've said majorly popular shows.
There's plenty of TV that's out there that's popular that's rubbish.
Whatever. If he does, he will do a video on it.
Yeah.
And add it to his long list of other videos.
At some point, I'll get around to it.
Can you rank all of the season openers in New Who from worst to best?
I can.
Right?
Will I, though? That's a different question.
Oh, now I feel bad because at the end they've put "love your channel," by the way, and you've given them a half-assed answer and made a sarky comment.
Yeah,
no,
sorry.
I'm only messing.
What, have they not said that?
No, they have actually.
All right, okay. Like, that's mean. Well, thank you. That's probably a video in itself, I think, because off the top of my head, I can't really. My favourite's 11th Hour, and I think my least favourite is probably something like Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar. So that's your sort of the basis. It's just what's in between and where.
Do you think Doctor Who season 24 deserves the flack it gets?
Yes, it's shit. I really don't enjoy it. I mean, it's goofy and it's wacky and it's a bit over the top and everything, but I can't take it seriously. It is literally my least favourite season of the classic era.
Favourite Big Finish story you've listened to, and which out of the BF stories you've listened to would you like to see animated, be able to watch on TV?
Spare Parts is my favourite because it was one of the first ones that I heard. I know it's like a generic answer because everyone loves Spare Parts.
Yeah, but there's a reason it's popular.
Yeah, there is.
It's enjoyable. So.
Yeah. In terms of recently, I really enjoyed I, Davros. I thought that was very good. In terms of animated or visuals to Big Finish, I think the way that they're made, I don't know if you can do them visually because they're made for audio. So I feel like they're better as is. But I think Spare Parts, I'd love to see visually that story, potentially, because it is so grim and it is to do with the Cybermen as well.
Favourite colour?
Either blue, green or orange.
Have you seen The Fifth Element?
I've not seen the other four yet. That was a bad joke, wasn't
It
it?
was. Even I was like, what?
Yeah, oops. I might edit that out. Might not. Fuck it. I don't think I have. Is it with Bruce Willis? Again, I'll add it to the list.
And what do you think of the Keeper of
Traken.
Traken?
That's an underrated one, actually, for Tom. Keeper of Traken. I really like that one. More than I thought. It was one of them where it's just like, I can't be arsed going back to that one. And then I came back to it and I was like, it's actually alright.
I don't know if this makes any difference, but it says, and what do you think of the Keeper of Traken commentary with Anthony Ainley?
Not actually heard the commentary on that one. Or at least off the top of my head I can remember it.
I was wondering what you thought about the rumours concerning the third MCU Spider-Man movie about Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield coming back.
I'm mildly curious. I feel like it could either be a hell of a lot of fun or a total mess. Either way, it's going to be worth the watch, I think.
Do you have any ideas for Doctor Who spin-offs you'd like to see?
I've got a well good one. I've got a really good one. You know, like Doctor Who focuses on actual characters. Fuck that right off. You remember some of the locations that they've been. You remember the school that they were in? The very first episode. Do you remember how important that school was to the plot? Let's do a spin-off there with no characters that we know or care about. They already did that. In other words, no, I haven't got one. That's my idea gone.
With Big Finish doing an upcoming box set of the 10th Doctor with classic companions, the first box is Leela, Nyssa and Ace. Who would you want the 10th Doctor to meet?
Jamie. I reckon they would have a bit of chemistry together. That'd be quite funny. Or Susan, actually.
Or
finally, I think Big Finish have done this with Susan before where she's come back, but it'd be nice to see Susan with other Doctors. Because it is a grandfather, isn't it?
United 2021 champions?
I'm not going to get giddy. The only thing that I will say, if we go to Anfield and we beat them, you best believe I'm getting Champions 2021 tattooed on my arse. Like,
great.
I'm gonna start fucking pre-drinking then. Like, nah. In all seriousness, I don't know. I don't see it personally. I think we'll be closer than we've ever been since Fergie. At this point, I can't say that we will. I don't want to get giddy and I don't want to jinx it. Like, if it happens, fuck me, amazing. But I'm not gonna get giddy yet.
Have you seen Peaky Blinders?
No. Sorry. It is one that I have been curious to watch though, because I do like Cillian Murphy. And Tom Hardy's in it as well, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
And I think there's a few other people that I recognise. So yeah, that would be one to watch.
Out of your favourite classic story and your favourite modern story, which one do you prefer?
Classic. Because I prefer the classic era. Like, the new era I think is great in bits and pieces, but I think I said this in a few different videos with other people, funnily enough, recently. I actually have more nostalgia for the classic series than I do the modern era, which is weird because the classic era ended before I was born. And like these stories, like The Hand of Fear, which is my favourite one, that was like nearly 20 years before I was born. And yeah, I feel the nostalgia more so for that than I would a story that I literally remember watching as it came out. Which
Doctors would you choose to have your perfect multi-story? They followed with, and don't say all of them because that's cheap.
I wouldn't say all of them. Most of them. No. Get rid of the ones I don't like. Have they given a limit?
No, they've just said which Doctors would you choose to have your perfect multi-Doctor
Well, you've got to have Troughton and Pertwee because that double act is so good.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I think I'd throw Tom in there because why not? I'd throw Eccleston in there because he never does multi-Doctor stories.
What Doctors would bounce off each other well? Like, Matt is basically a young version of...
Matt and Capaldi. I reckon Capaldi get properly wound up by Matt Smith. You're like, look at you. You're young with your bow tie, you dickhead. Like, attack eyebrows, just like. Yeah. Capaldi, Matt, Eccleston, Tom, Pertwee, Troughton. Because I think that Pertwee Troughton you can't replicate.
Yeah, and I would have loved to have seen Troughton and Matt because
Smith,
Matt is like a young version of Troughton, and I think they would have I think the chemistry with them. And can you imagine Pertwee being with two Troughtons?
Like, oh my god, there's two of them.
Yeah, can you imagine? He would just go nuts, poor thing. Right.
He'd hate Tom as well, Pertwee, I reckon.
I can imagine Eccleston and Tom probably like trying to outsmart each other because I think they've got both that sort of level of ego about them that they.
Yeah. I can see Eccleston and Pertwee and Capaldi on one side and then Smith, Tom and Troughton on the other. So they're all just like, oh my god, can we just get on with this? And they're all just like, Julie baby, anyone?
Yeah, exactly. How many 8th Doctor audios did you listen to? Will you review all Charlie stuff? I'm
currently making my way through it.
Okay.
So I've not listened to all of it yet. I've listened to a fair few, but I am going to review as much of it as possible that I can get hold of. So I think the last one I did, I can't actually remember, but I think the next one is Minute in Hell, Minuit in Hell. It's spelt weird.
Some sort of.
It's minute but spelt wrong, so I don't know if that's it.
Or right, if it's spelt in French.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
I don't even know if it's a French word, but
yeah,
anyway.
Fuck knows. Either way, yeah, I'm gonna make me way through them.
What would be the weirdest TARDIS team? Oh, weirdest TARDIS team.
It's hard to say. The weirdest TARDIS team. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
What would be the weirdest TARDIS team you could make with any Doctor or any companion? Hartnell and K9.
Hartnell and K9. Oh, he'd hate K9, wouldn't he? He'd batter him with his stick. Wretched dog. Yeah. Getting in my way again. Yeah, that'd be awful. K9 with Hartnell and maybe someone like Captain Jack as well, because Captain Jack's sort of very out there and flirtatious, and Hartnell would just be like, oh my word, like, what is this? Like, Captain Jack will fuck anything, and the Doctor's just like, oh my dear boy.
What are your top 3 John Pertwee stories? By the way, I love your videos.
Cool, thank you. I'd do a top 3 series, so I don't know off the top of my head necessarily. The Sea Devils would be there, and the 3 Doctors would as well, probably. There's so many to choose from, it's hard to say. But I will do a video on this, because I need to do my top 3 series again soon, actually, because I've not done it for a while. I think I've done top 3 worst Pertwee, so if you want to know what they are, go and check it out. But in terms of best, I'm struggling to pick the 3rd one, ironically. 3rd Doctor. What
part of the UK are you from? I feel like this is not a question from someone in the UK, because surely it would be reasonably obvious.
Yeah, if you're from the UK, you can probably tell where the accent. It's quite funny actually, because I've watched back some of my older videos and I'm putting on a voice and I sound posh.
Yeah.
It's quite funny actually, but that's not actually how I speak. How I actually speak is
like
this. But yes,
with his Scottish accent.
Oh yes, someone actually. This is quite funny. Someone did think I was Scottish in a video, and what made it worse or funnier, depending on how you look at it, they said, "Oh, it's good to watch videos from a fellow Scotsman." And I'm like, mate, how would you not fucking know? Like, alright, my hair, fair enough, but that's Irish heritage, but you could mistake it for Scottish. But as soon as I open my mouth, at what point do I sound Scottish? I wouldn't mind if I was doing a Capaldi impression or something, like... But yeah, Stockport from outside of Manchester.
This is a question as well.
Is it? It's a Q&A, Becky. It should be a question.
Hang on. Hope you are well.
I am.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for asking, actually. I always like that, because it's just nice, isn't it?
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I'm wanted to say it, because I'm skipping past it, thinking it's not actually part of the question, but technically it is a question.
Hope you're well?
Hope you're... Well, they put a full stop, so they probably didn't want
Hope you're well?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I am, but thank you for bringing it up.
Have you ever watched the Netflix show Dark? It's one I think you'll like. And then they've said, keep up the good work and Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you. I don't think I've even heard of Dark. Is it the one with Jason Bateman? Or is that a different one?
No, I think that's Oz.
Oh, that's Ozark or something.
Ozark or
yeah,
something.
alright.
Dark, I think, I might be completely wrong here, I think it's the German...
Oh, okay.
Or is that Rain? Oh,
I'm not entirely sure. Either way,
we can look it up.
Neither of us know, apparently, so no, we haven't seen it.
You've said before you don't like benches being randomly placed.
Pointless benches.
Pointless benches, yeah, and he really doesn't. Do you have other pet peeves?
Yes. I really hate when dinner is ready. Oh, you perked up then, didn't you? Because you know where this is going. When dinner's ready, and then someone, I'm not naming names, when someone starts faffing about and does other stuff, and I'm like, will you just sit down and eat your dinner before it goes cold?
By other stuff you mean I'm doing the washing up?
No, because you don't just do the washing up. You will do other stuff as well. Oh, I've got to fold these clothes that are over here, and I've got to put these away. It's like, dinner was cooking for half an hour. Why are you just doing it now? Just sit down and fucking eat. That annoys me. What other pet peeves do I have? I've got a lot. This might be an entire video in itself, actually. Like, that could be a podcast. My pet peeves. No one will watch that. It'd just be some angry Scottish person.
Pretending to be from Manchester.
Yeah, just ranting about random shit. I could be Scottish because they complain a lot.
How did you find out Liz Sladen died, and what was your reaction?
My nana phoned me to tell me, actually. Because it was on Newsround at the time. How old would I have been? 16, I think I would have been. 16, 15, something like that. Yeah, my nana phoned and told me. I cried because it was so out of the blue, because no one knew that she was ill with cancer or anything. It was so random. Like with some of the other actors, it's like, well, they were, 89. It's like, yeah, I can kind of see that. Whereas with her,
they died before you even.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like with Liz, it was like she was 60 something in the middle of her own show. No one saw it coming. It was just so random. And obviously, she's my favourite companion as well.
I cried when they said that Rick Mail had died. Again, sort of similar thing.
Yeah, out of the blue, wasn't it?
Have you ever watched Friday Night Dinner?
Oh yeah, love it.
And if so, do you like it?
No, I don't like it. I love it.
No, I've changed my opinion. I hate it.
Yeah, it is funny. It is really funny, I must admit. It's better than I thought it was going to be.
What are your thoughts on Doctor Who Series 10 nowadays?
If they mean the Capaldi one, I will probably re-review that for my review series that I'm currently doing. Because I haven't rewatched it for a while yet, so I'm curious to see what I think. Like I said before, I do love Capaldi in it, but I don't necessarily know about the stories anymore. I used to quite like some of them, but now they might have gone down or up in my estimations, I'm not sure. If they mean the Pertwee one, that is my favourite Pertwee series. Okay. Season 10.
Have you ever seen Firefly? If not, I'd recommend it.
Yeah, a lot of people have said that. I do want to watch it, because it's kind of like, supposedly sort of like the American Blake 7 in a way, which I'll be interested in seeing. So hopefully at some point I can find out where it is and check it out.
Do you have a favourite type of Who story, like historical, modern day, base under siege, etc.?
If people have been watching all these Q&As, it's definitely not the historicals. I hate the pure historicals, especially. Favourite type? I must admit, I do like an Earth invasion story, but I also like the sort of base under siege, claustrophobic.
What are some of your favourite comic book runs aside from Ultimate Spider-Man? One of my favourites is Eastman and Walt's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from IDW.
I've been meaning to read some of the IDW stuff actually, particularly Transformers, not Ninja Turtles. In terms of, apart from Ultimate Spider-Man, I really like the New 52 stuff. A lot of people don't, but I quite like the Batman New 52. Justice League's pretty good as well.
What do you think is the most forgetful episode story of Doctor Who of all time?
I can't remember.
Will you do a best and worst Red Dwarf episode?
Ooh, that might be fun. That might be fun. So I do like Red Dwarf. And you've been wanting to watch that as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
That's an excuse to rewatch it then.
Yeah, cool.
Sweet, sorted.
What is your opinion on the War Master?
I've not actually heard it yet. I know it's Derek Jacobi. But in terms of like in the show, he was the master for like 3 minutes. So I can't really make a judgment on that. But in terms of the audio, yeah, I've not actually heard it yet, unfortunately.
How has your mental health been during 2020?
Fucking hell. Okay, I think overall, it's been a weird fucking roller coaster year, hasn't it? I think for the most part I've been quite fortunate because we've been together for the entire time. But when you're sort of unsure about what's going to happen with work and like you can't see your family or your friends or things like that, it can get quite hard. But I think overall, okay. I've not gone crazy yet.
Not yet. Would you rather have a spin-off TV show with Paul McGann as the Doctor or have 2 more Eccleston series?
I don't know, because what would the Eccleston series be? Would they have been series 2 and 3 as they were? Because if so, no, I wouldn't have wanted that. 2 original series, yes.
Think of it as sort of just carrying like 2 original series.
Yeah, but I think the original plan was how 2 and 3 ended up with David Tennant, it would have happened like that with Eccleston. So if it happened like that, then I wouldn't have wanted it. So maybe McGann.
For the 50th anniversary of the Master, would you like to see an Auton Master story again?
Oh yeah. I want the Autons to come back again, actually, because I really like them as villains. Spearhead from Space and Terror of the Autons are 2 of my favourite stories, actually.
Do you believe in ghosts, reincarnation?
I don't know. Kind of, but not really. But a little bit, but not so much. It's hard to say, really. I'd like to think so, in terms of ghosts, because a lot of people find them spooky. I don't. I actually find them quite relaxing. The idea of them, I mean. Not like someone's just there and like you're just there butt naked, like wiping your ass or something. Like, just
like,
staring
hello.
at you. Like, nice to see you again. Reincarnation, I quite like. Quite like that idea. But I'm a Catholic, so I shouldn't believe in that either.
What's your thoughts on anti-maskers and or people who say COVID is fake?
Well, we know people who've had it.
Yeah.
You've had it, so
A strain of it.
yeah. So it's not fake. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think there is a few suspect things about it, and I think some people are very quick to just blindly accept what they're told by the media, who obviously will never exaggerate anything.
No.
But at the same time, it's definitely a problem. Like, it's definitely a real thing, and I think things just need to get back to normal as quick as possible, so if people just fucking listen. But then again, the government don't help themselves when they release a load of bullshit, nonsensical rules, so it's just a clusterfuck of shit, innit?
Series 5 New Who or Season 13 Classic Who, which wins?
Season 13.
Season 7 New Who or Season 24 Classic Who, which is worse?
Oh, this is like a quick fire round. Okay, cool. Sorry, what was it? Series 7 and...
Series 7 New Who and Season 24 Classic Who, which is worse?
Which is worse?
There is more quick fire.
I will say Series 7 because it's longer, technically.
Nightmare in Silver or Asylum of the Daleks? Shittest Cybermen story or shittest Dalek story?
I mean, that is definitely true. I think Asylum and the Daleks will edge it as the better story because Nightmare in Silver is borderline unwatchable. And it does kind of butcher the Cybermen a little bit, whereas Asylum of the Daleks is somewhat true to the Daleks still.
Rory or Amy?
Who?
Rory or Amy?
Or who's better or who's worse?
I'm assuming which one.
Well,
you
either
prefer.
way, Amy. I prefer Amy.
Rose or Mickey?
I like Mickey.
Clara or Strax?
Oh, fuck off! Who wrote this? I don't know. Well, because Strax...
Someone with the same name as you, actually.
Oh, right, okay. What, Wingy?
Yeah.
Strax is an abomination. And I will say this. Okay, I will say this. Clara is fucking garbage as a companion. She's awful. Her stories, her character, I think are terrible. However, I think there's some episodes where she's watchable. And she's okay in some episodes, I will say that. Strax has never been okay. He's always been awful. And one of the worst things that has ever been in Doctor Who.
I know the next one to this.
Yeah, go
the
on.
Answer. Rum or vodka? It's rum.
It's rum. I can't drink vodka. I was spiked on vodka and I can't touch it since.
Doctor Who or football?
Either way, they both let me down as of late. Doctor Who is probably the thing I would pick because I've enjoyed Doctor Who more than because the thing is with football matches, you rewatch them, but it's not the same because you know how it's going to go, which is weird because obviously you rewatch television and you know how it's going to go. But when you rewatch normal TV, it's a bit different because you can pick up on different things and you can still enjoy it and it can remind you of different things. Whereas a football match, I struggle to rewatch older ones or like old memories of stuff. It's very much in the moment, whereas I like Doctor Who because you can at least go back and watch it multiple times. Plus, it's been like my entire childhood, pretty much.
What do you consider is canon for the 7th Doctor post-survival pre-TV movie? Big Finish, Virgin New Adventures, or comics?
Probably Big Finish, somewhat. I don't know, canon's a bit of a weird one, especially when it's the wilderness years, because there's so much of it. I don't know what classes as what. I don't really class the Virgin New Adventure novels as canon. Some Big Finish. Not read enough of the comic books for me to comment on them, so I'll just say with them they're in limbo as well. Summit definitely went on though, because you leave the 7th Doctor at the end of Survival and he's walking off with Ace, and then it starts off the TV movie and it's like, where the fuck is Ace? What happened there? So something happened.
Have you seen Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? And if so, what did you think of it?
Oh, it's brilliant. I love it. Such a good film.
Can you do a video where you rank all of the Dalek stories?
Yeah, why not? Sure.
Are you excited for the Disney Plus Marvel shows?
Some of them. Loki looks fun. Falcon and Winter Soldier looks not as good as I wanted it to be, I must admit. And WandaVision looks more interesting than I thought it was going to be. So we'll just have to see how those go. But I am quite excited for him, yeah.
What's your favourite Disney and Pixar film? No Star Wars, Marvel, or any of the other things they brought.
Or any of the other things that they've made. Right,
just the regular animated stuff.
I don't like them. I don't like the animated Disneys, really. I've not really got nostalgic attachment to them either. I don't really like musicals, and a lot of them aren't they? Like sort of the cartoon ones.
I mean, yeah. Pixar is animated, so...
No, I'm talking about the actual normal Disneys. Pixar's different. I really like Toy Story, Pixar, and Cars. I really like Cars. I know a lot of people don't, but I enjoy it.
Have you seen or read Dragon Ball or My Hero Academia?
I haven't, actually. Dragon Ball is weird, because it was on sort of the same channels at the same time when I was watching some of the other anime stuff that I may have mentioned before, but I never watched it, and I don't really read manga, so yeah, no, I've not really. I've heard good things about both though, so if people are interested in my thoughts on it, then sorry to disappoint, basically. I don't know. See, this is a weird thing. I don't actually watch a lot of stuff thinking about it, because people say, oh, what do you think of this and this, and I'm just like, I have no idea.
What's your opinion on the following Doctor Who stories? The Edge of Destruction.
The Edge of Destruction, is that with Hartnell fairly early on?
I don't know.
I think that's okay if that's the story that I'm
assuming it must be, because the next one is the Romans, the Chase.
Oh, okay, right. So, yeah, I think I like that one off the top of my head.
The Romans.
Don't like pure historicals.
The Chase.
That's fun.
The Moonbase.
Oh, I love the Moonbase.
The Enemy of the World.
I love that one as well, actually. I'm so glad they found that one.
The Mind Robber.
Oh, that is fun. That is one of my favourite Troughtons, I think. I love the fact that Fraser Hines had a week off and they were just like, right, fucking cast someone else then, why not?
If you had a time machine but could only travel back through the history of the Doctor Who production office as a writer, then which Doctor would you write for that would replace an existing story?
Oh, it'd replace the story, not... Okay. Ooh. Because if it was like, take credit for someone's work, it'd probably be like, oh, well, pick a Bob Holmes script, I'll probably replace him for that. Oh, actually, funnily enough, I will replace a Bob Holmes script. I will replace the Reboss operation, because it's fucking shit.
Right.
Oh, actually, no. Who wrote Underworld? Or The Leisure Hive? Or Power of Kroll? Or Mask of Mandragora? Any of them. They're all proper shit Tom Baker stories. I don't like any of them, so I'd replace any of them with a much better story, hopefully.
Should Doctor Who mention Sarah Jane's death like they did with the Brigadier, or should they leave it so that she's still out there doing her work on Bannerman Road?
I think they should leave it. They did that farewell Sarah Jane thing. It might be a bit too late, because it is nearly 10 years since she passed away, so I feel like at this point leave it, and I feel like they should have left it anyway. I feel like they have done the right thing, because I like knowing that she's possibly still out there.
Outside the Dark Knight trilogy, what's your favourite Christopher Nolan film?
Interstellar. I love it. I was very surprised at how much I like that film.
You're welcome.
Well, it's not just... It's the fact that it's like, what, 3 hours long?
And it just doesn't seem like it.
Doesn't feel like it.
Constantly engrossed in it.
It is so good. The scene with the waves, my heart's pounding throughout the entire thing. It's
the music as well. The musical score is brilliant.
The visual effects, like the acting.
Just cute.
Yeah, the cast, it's a stellar film.
It is very, very good. Would you love to see a Doctor Who episode where the Daleks and Cybermen go to all-out war with each other? For example, Cybermen invade Skaro with cyber tanks and cyber artillery and take Davros hostage, and the Dalek invade with Mondas, or I think they've given like a few different
examples. I don't know about a Doctor Who story, but do it in spin-off media. Maybe an animated series similar to Daleks that they did recently. I think that's a bit too much for a Doctor Who story, but I would like to see them go at it. But it depends which versions go against the Daleks in terms of the Cybermen. Because I feel like if you go with the Mondasian Cybermen, well, they're dead.
If you were made showrunner and head writer of Doctor Who, what would you do to improve and fix the show?
I'm actually going to do a video on that, so look out for that. I'm aiming to do it as one of the first videos of 2021, whenever this video comes out, probably in the new year. So, yeah, it'll be some point in January.
What are your thoughts on the unmade Sarah Jane Adventure stories? Do you think they should be adapted for audio? Would you like to see the show return as the Luke Smith Adventures, either on TV or audio?
I guess they can do stuff with Luke on audio. I wouldn't necessarily want the Sarah Jane Adventures to continue though, because you don't have Sarah Jane, and I wouldn't want to recast her. I know that they're doing Return of the Cybermen, I think, which was like an unmade story from Tom's era, and they've got her daughter playing Sarah Jane.
Oh.
Depending on how that goes, I might change my mind on that, but I don't think you can recast Liz. And in terms of the unmade stories, I actually don't know what they were supposed to be, so I can't really give an opinion on them, to be honest. But I did pretty much enjoy all of the Sarah Jane Adventures.
What's the most mediocre Doctor Who episode? Just the most middle of the road stuff. Truly uneventful. Utterly nothing.
There's a few like that. Maybe something like The Power of Three, because that's an episode that I actually quite enjoy, and I know that there was behind the scene reasons as to why the ending changed, but the entire episode is building up to something, and then the ending is just like, wave to Sonic, done, see you in a bit, and it's like, well, that seems like wasted potential. Probably a lot of the stuff in Series 7 I could say as most of the middle of the road, mediocre shit ones.
Which is the most overrated Doctor in Doctor Who in your opinion?
Probably David Tennant, if I'm being totally honest. I don't necessarily dislike any of the Doctors, because I think they all have redeeming qualities, really. I think I obviously like some more than others. With Tennant, it seems like people are obsessed with him as the Doctor, and even though I used to really enjoy him as a kid, I don't really like him as much now, because I think he's a bit of an arrogant prick. He's still enjoyable, and I enjoy his performances, but I wouldn't necessarily put him in my top 5 Doctors.
You are a Doctor Who companion. Which...
Am I?
Apparently.
Oh, that's cool. That's news. It's not really a question, but it's a good start.
It's a statement. There you go. Which Doctor would you travel with, and which Doctor would you least like to travel with?
Pertwee is the one I would want to travel with. The reason being is because he's not my favourite Doctor. People know this. People should know who my favourite Doctor is. But with Pertwee, I open the doors and I see him and I'm like, oh, okay, I'll be safe. Because Pertwee's not, like, with his Aikido and, like, his Wakar and, like, he's got the Brigadier and Joe and he's, like, his best mates with his enemy and he's, like, with his cape. You just know, like, yeah, I'm going to be safe. On the flip side, if I see Tom, I'm petrified. That guy is insane. Then again, I think I'd get on with Tom. So I don't know. Colin, actually. Early Colin. He literally would choke you, because he did.
Have you seen the Clone Wars?
No. Well, I've seen the original cartoon from when I was a kid, but I've not seen the modern version of the Clone Wars. It's something that I need to check out, but again, it's just one of them where I've just not got around to it. I always end up rewatching stuff that I've already seen, and I literally have to, you know this, I literally have to be forced to watch something new. Yeah. How long did it take you to get me to watch Breaking Bad and stuff like that?
A long time.
Exactly. I'll get to it eventually. When I'm like 38, I'll just be like, oh, why didn't I watch the Clone Wars sooner?
Will you ever watch the new stuff? I know you said a while back that you were done, but is that still the case? What would it take to get you back to watching regularly? I mean, you've sort of had similar-ish questions.
I don't think I'll ever go and watch Series 12, for example, because I already know all the spoilers for it because of Twitter and, like, YouTube videos of clips popping up and everything, and other people who I watch talking about it and everything. So I don't necessarily think that I would. But in terms of, like, what would get me back to watch it, it would probably be either a new showrunner or a new Doctor. Like, the idea of Captain Jack coming back, I must admit I was tempted. Not enough. I'd rather see more of Jack in Torchwood than I would of him in Doctor Who, so it's not really enough for me to be like, oh, I'll check this out. So I don't know. Just something different, because... Or Timeless Child. Fuck that right off.
What are your goals for 2021?
Going outside would be nice. Being able to see people would be good. But the thing, I've got so much stuff in my head and written down, lined up. I don't know why mine written down, as if you didn't know what writing things down were. Yeah, I've got a load of stuff planned, written down.
But anyone who's got it on silent will be like, oh, he's miming now.
Yeah, exactly.
Be serious.
Why would you... It'll be like an hour-long video or something. Like, why would they have it on mute?
That's true.
Maybe I'm not boring.
Maybe they just like looking.
Maybe that's the goal, to get those people who watch me, but on mute, to switch the sound on.
Yeah.
That'll be it. That'll be my goal. I want to hit 10k as well at some point. I want to get all those videos out. I want to do I want to try and post more than once a week. And I do want to do a different variety of videos as well. Like, I really enjoy doing the Doctor Who stuff because it's the main thing that I know. But I do want to do more gaming stuff, whether it is actually online or Yu-Gi-Oh or film. 3 words. No. Stuff like that. We've joked about it throughout this entire Q&A, but I would actually start the Wingy Football channel, especially with the Euros coming up as well. Maybe that's an excuse to do it. Talk about like who we take to the Euros and who do I think is going to win. Reviews after each England game. Yeah, stuff like that really. And in a general sense, make sure it's better than last year. So yes, that is going to be it for the Q&A. I apologise if I didn't answer your questions, but you've been reading them out and I don't think we've missed any. I don't think we've missed any. So if that is the case, I do apologise, and I hope you enjoyed it. And also have a very good 2021. Hope you had a very good Christmas as well. Thank you to Becky for reading out the questions for me. I will leave a link to your channel in the description. Wait, actually, that's another one of my goals. Get you start posting more.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, exactly. So go and drop Becky a sub, because she does book and film comparisons, and she's done poetry before, and you're doing Harry Potter stuff as well. So if you like Harry Potter, because you're probably not going to get that on my channel. Well, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure you leave a like on it, subscribe for more. Social media and Patreon links will be in the description as always. And if you follow me on any of those things, then I will absolutely love you forever. But until next time, guys, you take care of yourselves. Goodbye.